Hello friends, welcome to my channel My Job Preparation. Today we will discuss about few very important topics related to Active Directory or server role. Okay, the first question is, what is Active Directory and what are its primary functions? Active Directory is a directory service developed by Microsoft for Windows domain networks. It is a centralized database that stores and manages information about network resources such as users, computers, groups, and other objects, enabling secure and efficient management of network environments. Active Directory is primarily used in enterprise settings to facilitate authentication, authorization, and resource management across the network. Primary functions of Active Directory: authentication, authorization, directory services, group policy management, scalability and hierarchy management, single sign-on, replication and fault tolerance, integration with other services. Let us discuss one by one point. So, the first point in primary functions is authentication. Active Directory verifies the identity of users and devices attempting to access network resources. It uses protocols like Kerberos and NTLM to ensure secure authentication, enabling users to log in with a single set of credentials, single sign-on, to access various services and applications. Authorization: Active Directory manages permissions and access control, determining what resources, for example, files, applications, or devices, a user or group can access. It uses access control lists, ACLs, and group policies to enforce security policies and ensure users have appropriate access labels. Directory services: Active Directory stores and organizes information about network objects in a hierarchical structure. This includes user accounts, computer accounts, groups, and other resources, making it easier to locate and manage them. The directory is organized into domains, trees, and forests to reflect the organization's structure. Group policy management: Active Directory enables administrators to define and enforce configuration settings and security policies across users and computers in the network. Group policy objects allow centralized control over settings such as password policies, software installation, and desktop configurations. Scalability and hierarchy management: Active Directory supports large-scale networks by organizing resources into domains, trees, and forests. Domains represent a group of objects managed together, while trees and forests allow for trust relationships and scalability across multiple domains, accommodating complex organizational structures. Single sign-on: through its authentication mechanisms, Active Directory allows users to access multiple services and resources with a single set of credentials, improving user experience and reducing the need for multiple logins. Replication and fault tolerance. Active Directory supports multi-master replication where changes made to one domain controller are replicated to others, ensuring data consistency and availability. This provides fault tolerance as the network can continue functioning even if one domain controller fails. Integration with other services. Active Directory integrates with other Microsoft services such as Exchange Server, SharePoint, and Azure Active Directory, as well as non-Microsoft applications that support LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. This enables seamless management of hybrid or cloud-based environments. Conclusion. Active Directory is an official component for managing network resources in Windows-based environments. Its primary functions authentication, authorization, directory services, group policy management, scalability, single sign-on, replication, and integration enable organizations to maintain secure, efficient, and scalable network operations. By centralizing resource management, AD simplifies administrative tasks and enhances security across endpoint networks. Next question. Explain the difference between a domain and a forest in Active Directory. In Active Directory, the concepts of domain and forest are fundamental to understand how network resources are organized and managed. Both are structural components of Active Directory, but they serve distinct purposes and operate at different levels of hierarchy. Below is a detailed explanation of the differences between a domain and a forest in Active Directory. Domain. A domain is the core administrative unit in Active Directory, representing a collection of objects such as users, computers, groups, and other resources that share a common database and security policies. It is a logical boundary for management, authentication, and authorization within a network. Key characteristics of domain: single security boundary, shared database, authentication and authorization, administrative scope, replication. The key characteristics of domain: single security boundary. A domain defines a scope of security policies such as user authentication and access control. Users within a domain share a common set of credentials and policies. Shared database. All objects within a domain, for example, user accounts, computer accounts, are stored in a single Active Directory database managed by domain controllers. Authentication and authorization. A domain handles user authentication, verifying identity, and authorization, determining access rights for its objects. It uses protocols like Kerberos to provide secure access. Administrative scope. A domain is managed by a set of administrators who have authority over the objects within that domain. Policies such as group policy objects are typically applied at the domain level. Replication. Within a domain, multiple domain controllers replicate the Active Directory database to ensure consistency and fault tolerance. Changes made on one domain controller are propagated to others in the same domain. Example: in an organization, a domain might be named company.com and contain all user accounts and resources for a specific department or geographic location. Forest. A forest is a collection of one or more domains that share a common schema, configuration, and global catalog. It represents the highest level of organization in Active Directory, encompassing all domains within an enterprise. Key characteristics of a forest: collection of domains, common schema and configuration, global catalog, trust relationships, security boundary, administrative scope. Okay, so key characteristics of a forest: collection of domains. A forest can contain multiple domains organized into a hierarchy of trees, that is, domain with a contiguous namespace, or standalone domains. For example, a forest might include company.com, sales.company.com, and marketing.company.com. Common schema and configuration. All domains in a forest share the same schema, that is, the structure defining AD objects and attributes, and configuration settings for the AD environment. This ensures consistency across domains. Global catalog. A forest maintains a global catalog, a distributed data store that contains a searchable partial representation of all objects in every domain within the forest. This enables cross-domain searches and authentication. Trust relationships. Domains within a forest automatically establish two-way transitive trust relationships, allowing users in one domain to access resources in another domain subject to permissions. This facilitates resource sharing across the organization. Security boundary. The forest is the ultimate security boundary in AD. While domains provide administrative boundaries, the forest defines the scope of trust and schema changes, which cannot be altered independently by individual domains. Administrative scope. Forest-wide operations, for example, schema modifications, are managed by specific roles such as the schema admins group and apply to all domains in the forest. Example: a multinational company might have a forest that includes domains like us.company.com or eu.company.com and asia.company.com, each representing different regions but sharing a common schema and global catalog. Key differences between domain and forest. From the aspect of definition, domain is a single administrative unit with its own database and security policies, whereas forest is a collection of one or more domains sharing a common schema and configuration. Scope. Domain manages a specific set of objects like users, computers, and etc. within a single namespace, whereas forest encompasses multiple domains, providing a higher level organizational structure. Security. Domain acts as an administrative and security boundary for its objects, whereas Forest acts as the ultimate security boundary, encompassing all domains and their trusts. Trust relationships. Domain can have explicit trusts with other domains, but these are not authentic. Whereas Forest automatically establishes two-way transitive trusts between domains in the forest. Global catalog. Domain doesn't maintain a global catalog, it is specific to the domain's objects, while Forest maintains a global catalog with partial information about all objects in the forest. Schema and configuration. Domain inherits the schema and configuration from the forest, while forest defines the schema and configuration shared by all domains in the forest. Administrative control. Domain managed by domain administrators with authority over the domain's objects, while forest managed by forest-wide roles, example schema admins for certain operations. Replication. Domain replication occurs between domain controllers within the same domain, while forest replication of the global catalog and schema occurs across the forest. Example of a domain sales.company.com as a single domain for the sales department, whereas company.com as a forest containing sales.company.com and hr.company.com. Practical implications. Domains are used to partition administrative responsibilities and manage resources within a specific scope, such as a department or location. For example, a company might create separate domains for different regions to delegate administrative tasks. Forests are used to unify multiple domains under a single organizational structure, ensuring consistent schema, global catalog, and trust relationships. A forest is typically created for an entire organization or a group of organizations that need to share resources. Conclusion. In summary, a domain in Active Directory is a single administrative unit that manages a specific set of network resources and security policies, while a forest is a broader structure that encompasses one or more domains, providing a shared schema, global catalog, and trust relationships. Understanding the distinction between domain and forests is essential for designing and managing scalable, secure, and efficient Active Directory environments in enterprise networks. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.